Hello everybody, my name is Martin, this is Millionaire Autobahn. Today we're going back to school series again about what to do when losing money, if it's bad to lose money, and how to fix losing money when doing day trading. So a quick reminder, this is only my personal view, I'm not a financial advisor, so this is just for your entertainment. And with that said, let's get into this. So I'm pretty sure that you have been in the same situation like I did. So you're going into a trade and you say, oh, this looks like a good setup. It looks like that everything is the way it should be. You click on buy, the order is executed, and the second you click on it, the stock turns around. And then you're kind of stuck there thinking, where do I set the stop loss? Should I actually have a stop loss, or should I ride it out, or hopefully it goes back up again, or whatever. All these things go through your mind right at that moment, right? And so I actually will tell you that it's a good thing to actually lose some money. So to go back when I started, let's say about 3 months or so ago, with day trading, I started with about let's say close to like 27,000 in my trading account. As you might know, in the US you still to this day have the PDD rule that you have to have at least 25,000 in your account in order to do day trading. That should be skipped soon, should be down to 2,000, but we'll see when this is finalized. So nevertheless, I started off with 27,000 about 3 months ago, and I'm actually down in these 3 months to about 25,500. So I lost about $1,500. So you might say, wow, this is bad. You lost money in these 3 months. To be honest, I actually say it's not bad. It's actually good. Why do I say that? Well, every new business, you will lose money. You have to invest money at the beginning. That's just how it goes. You have to learn things, there will be issues, there will be problems, and it's the exact same thing with day trading. And to be honest, just losing only $1,500 is actually not that bad. Because I set myself, okay, I have about, let's say, 50,000 or so that I set aside for this endeavor to see if I can do it. So with that said, it's not that bad to lose that 1,500 in the 3 months period. So that means that I do some, bad trades, but I also have some good trades. And the main thing for now is to actually still learn. Yeah, you might say, well, why don't you learn with paper trading? Well, I did do paper trading before, but to be honest, it's not the same thing. People might be very, very good at paper trading. Once it's their own money on the line, they fail. So yes, I did some paper trading, but it was not the same thing. So now I do, my real trading, and I'm still working things out, learning things as I go. There are things like, okay, get access to pre-market and aftermarket trading, how to do short sales, how to buy leveraged ETFs and things like that. So there's a whole big pile of things that you have to learn and understand, besides on what are the trend lines, what is support and resistance, what is the 20 EMA and things like that. It's a whole big set of things that you need to learn, and that's fine. And as we learn, yes, there will be failures, we will lose money there, but we'll also make some profit. And from both making profit and losing money, we will learn. And that's the main important thing. So when you look back in my videos, it's not that, every trader will always win money, right? For example, like 2 videos back, I had Ross Cameron. I had actually a review on his video in regards to his loss of $172,000 in one day. And that's a huge loss. But then again, he has millions of dollars in his account. It's just a little bump, to be honest. What I want to say is that even an experienced trader will have losses here and there. That's just how it goes. And that's okay, there's nothing wrong with that. That's just what happens. It's the same if you have a business. There will be mix-ups where the customer doesn't pay, or you did the work wrong and you have to put it out of your own pocket to fix something. That's just how it goes, and that's fine. You have to calculate that into your business right from the get-go. So I also said a couple of videos back on how to find stocks. And to me, that's still kind of a big issue. So what I did over the last, let's say, 2 months, I actually kind of switched around a bit and said, okay, I want to trade stocks that are cryptocurrency related, that are kind of, going like Ethereum and Bitcoin is going. Because of that, I only have, let's say, 15, 20 stocks max that I need to look at. So I just look at the same ones every day. I personally think it might help to actually then say, I can see the particular stocks on how they always kind of react, how they go. I might be more in depth of knowledge over time for these particular stocks because I'm always trading the same ones. It could be totally wrong, it could be that, it changes around as any other stock anyways. But I just kind of hope that I'm able to kind of read the stocks after a while, after let's say 6 months or so, I kind of know, oh, the stock is doing this, so this will be the next move. As I said, I'm not sure, I'm just hoping for that. Nevertheless, I find it quite interesting to go down that route because all these stocks kind of hang on the large two cryptocurrencies, meaning if Bitcoin goes up, usually these stocks go up and vice versa, right? And also, if Bitcoin goes up, usually Ethereum goes up and vice versa. So you have kind of a little bit of a broader picture on how things go. That doesn't mean that it's always right, and it doesn't mean that it always goes like that. But I did a couple of Python scripts to get data from Binance and actually did some calculations on this. So it is between 60 to 80% where these stocks go in the same direction as their cryptocurrency counterparts, which is interesting. So you have a little bit, what I think, a little bit bigger picture on where things are going. Nevertheless, I still lost money so far. So, and that's just how it goes. So let me show you actually a couple of things, 1 or 2 trades that I did that I, was just totally wrong, went in at the wrong time, went out at the wrong time. And so, because it's important to learn from these, right? All right, let's go to the computer real quick. So here you can see, this is ProShares Ultra Short Bitcoin ETF, right? So, and I think I said that before. So these types of ETFs, they're leveraged. A Pro Short means it's leveraged actually twice in this case. So when Bitcoin, in this case, goes down 1%, this particular ETF would go up 2%, roughly. It can be 1.5 or whatever. But that's kind of how this goes. So as you can see, I went into a trade right here, and I bought 100 shares at $31.83. So I didn't go really in right at the bottom here. It was actually more like at the top of this. So when you actually look to the right, you see the exact amount now. It's 31.83. So I'm in right pretty much at the top. And that's one of my specialties, go in at the totally wrong time. So I went in right there, and as you can see, it went then down afterwards. Right here went down. And so that's when I actually then thought, oh shit, it's not going in my direction. So I went out again and I sold it for $31.53. So I actually lost 30 cents per share. That's like 100 shares, so that's $30 I lost. It's not that big, but still I lost money right there. So I have to think about what did I do wrong. So first off, I kind of should have waited till actually that green bar goes over this orange line. The orange line I have there is the 9 EMA. So that's actually a 9-minute moving average. So it should have been above that in order to go long. And I didn't do that. So I was just kind of excited. Oh, this is a big green bar, so let's just go in. That's kind of, sometimes what happens. I kind of do these things, get all excited. Oh, let's just do it, right? So that was just wrong from my part. So that's the things that you need to learn. And then there's the next one actually on the same stock, which at first actually looked good. So I went in here. You see at 32.18, okay, and it was actually above the 9 EMA, and this little yellow, orange line here is the 20 days EMA. So it was above that, so you kind of would think, yeah, it actually goes for a long, and but then it actually went down. And I'm, to be honest, kind of chicken out at some point and say, yeah, let's put the stop loss there and just get out. If I would have waited, I might have, been able to maybe make it up again a little bit, but I didn't. And I'm sure you have been in the same situation. So I went out again here, and at 31.84. So again, I lost. Let's look at this real quick. Again, around 30 something cents per share. So another 30, let's say $33 or so that I lost with that trade. And so that's the thing where you kind of have to learn, okay, does it make sense actually? Because when you look at this chart, when you look at this, you see it kind of goes up and down, up and down. It's kind of sideways. It's not really going anywhere. It went up right here, but it didn't do anything on when I actually started trading it. So I should have actually waited till maybe, let's say, like this bar here or this bar here to get in, and then maybe hold it a bit longer to over here, or maybe even over here. If I would have just holded it, all the time, you can see it actually went up then in after hours, like, a lot. But no, that's actually pre-market hours. So the next morning it went up quite a bit. So, but those are the things you actually don't know. So I would say you always kind of cut your losses and say, well, okay, it was a bad trade, just get out. In this case, I lost a total of about $60, $65 or something like that. And yeah, I can live with that, that's fine. As said, we need to learn from those things. So the first trade I did was stupid, no question about it. The second trade, I still think was actually the entry point was kind of right, but the exit point was wrong. So those are the things we need to learn. But in general, I should have actually not gone into this trade at all, because it kind of goes sideways. That was the wrong trade altogether. I should have chosen a different stock. But well, I didn't. And I'm sure you have the same situations where you actually do invest or use the wrong stock, and the trade just goes south. And that's just, what happens quite a bit, actually, following which stock you want to trade. And, but that's fine. That's fine. That's why we learn. And we have to take these losses as learning experiences. That's how I see it. I say, okay, look, I now know I shouldn't actually take a trade when the green bar is not over the 9 EMA. Then just leave it alone, right? Or when I see it's going sideways, then just don't trade this particular stock at all. Use a different stock. And so, as said, these are the things we need to learn, and that's why it's okay to actually lose during some trades. Obviously, you don't want to lose $172,000, but if you go for the 1% rule that I'm going for on a daily basis, it's okay if you just have a trade that only makes you 0.5%, and then another one makes you 0.3% of your daily goal, and the other one makes you 0.5 again, and then you have reached your goal and you turn off the computer. You don't chase for any more trades, you just leave it alone. That's kind of how I see it, how I want to play this game. And yeah, so far I'm kind of, still struggling, but I'm thinking I'm getting there. It'll take some time, but that's, as said, every business venture needs some time to actually move forward, right? And yeah, so with that said, it's important to have the funds. It's important to not get angry about when you lose money. It's important to learn about what you have done wrong, what I have done wrong, and then try to fix it the next trading day or, over time. It will take some time. There will always be one of these trades that just don't work out, right? That's just what happens. So don't get all upset about it, and take it with a grain of salt and actually use it to your advantage. Learn from it and make it better the next time. So yes, that's it for today's video. I hope it was actually interesting to you. I think it actually was. I think it's important to learn these things. So I will see you again in the next video. Please like and subscribe. That's it for today. Alrighty, bye.